Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. Well, we have live background music today, so I'm not going to be trying to play the music in a minute. So we got jazz going in the background. We incredible manifestors, so we get a chance to do that. What I'd like to ask you to do is just take a breath right now. I'm going to do a little short centering meditation, and on lesson 50 in the Course in Miracles, which is I'm sustained by the love of God. And I would love for you to substitute whatever terms you need to substitute for anything that I say that you find yourself having some resistance. If you have a resistance to the term God, then whatever word you use that denotes something greater than your own ego or your own little limited conception of yourself is what we want to use. I'm going with God personally, short and cute and fast and powerful. So I'm going to go through I'm sustained by the love of God. And I'd just like to ask you for a minute to just close your eyes and kind of shut out all the external stimuli. There's a very powerful meditation posture that I'd like you to use. It's called sitting however you want to. It's a very difficult posture of meditation to try because I don't want you concentrating on your body. This one right here. Right here. I don't want you concentrating on your body more than just relaxing and breathing right now. So we're going to do, I am sustained by the love of God. I'm sustained by the love of God. I'm sustained by the love of God. Now that statement does not mean you are sustained by loving God. I'm sustained by the love of God does not mean you are sustained by loving God. What the statement, I'm sustained by the love of God, first of all, you don't have to believe anything you hear in this class. The people who've been coming for a while can attest to that. You don't need to welcome anything that you hear in the class. You don't need to accept anything you hear in the class. Some of the stuff that I say you may find hard to believe. Some of the stuff you might feel some resistance to. Some of it might be quite startling. But if you use it, the Course will show you that it's true. So it's not anything that you have to believe. And by understanding that you don't have to believe it, it tends to open a person's mind up to hearing things. Because I'm not trying to convert you in anything. So I'm sustained by the love of God. The Course in Miracles says that's the answer to every problem that will confront you today, tomorrow, and throughout time. That you're sustained by that which created you. You're sustained by that which created you. I'm sustained by that which created me. I am 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 sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by that which created me. Then it turns around and says, what's going on with most people? It says, in this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God. In this world, people think they're sustained by everything but the universe, everything but spirit, everything but God. And then it goes on to say exactly what it's talking about. It says, your faith is placed in the most trivial and insane symbols. I like that, trivial and insane symbols. Then it goes on to describe what the trivial and insane symbols are that we think we are sustained by. He says, the pills, I got to get my Advil. Money, I got to hit it, got to get the bucks to pay that bill. We think we're sustained by protective clothing, influence, who we know, prestige, and especially, the Course says, we think we're sustained by being liked. If people really like me, I'm going to be taken care of. Then it says we think we're sustained by knowing the right people. Like, if I know the person that's hiring at FedEx, then possibly I'll get a job at FedEx. Then it goes on and says that this is just an endless list of forms of nothingness that we endow with magical powers. It says all these things are your replacements for the love of God. It says all these things are cherished to ensure a body identification. That's a very deep statement, that we cherish pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being like, knowing the right people. But the Course in Miracles says that these things are really cherished to ensure a body identification. Let me explain what that means. The Course in Miracles teaches that we're spiritual beings having this experience of thinking we're separate and we're human. But the truth is we're spiritual beings, that we're consciousness, that we're mind, that we're thought, that we're more than physical bodies. But if you're worrying about all that stuff, it says that's a great way to ensure that you're just going to continue to think you're just a body in the world trying to make it. So the purpose of focusing in on all those things, the Course says, is to ensure that you keep identifying with just being a body. Then it goes on to say what it really is songs of praise to the ego, which is the same as saying what I'm really doing is praising my fear, because if I'll be honest about myself, all of my fears are around me thinking that I'm a body and I've got to take care of it, and I'm afraid of what might happen to it. So it says actually that focus is just what is the root of our fear. Then it goes on to say, don't put your faith in the worthless. The worthless will not sustain you. So what did we just hear was the worthless from a Course in Miracles perspective? Depending on money, depending on pills. That doesn't mean I'm not going to ask for a financial expression of appreciation today. All right? Why? Because the Course, it also says, while we're here, we think we need money to stay here to take care of stuff. It's not unrealistic in terms of where we think we are. But no matter what happens, or whatever you receive, is really coming from Source. And then you're grateful to the channels who allow themselves to be used in that way. So as long as I don't forget that I'm sustained by the love of God, then I'm going to be all right. Because no matter where I am, God is, and all is well. You may not be everywhere I am. You may not be everywhere I am. But God is everywhere I am. That which created me is everywhere I am. So then it goes on to say, only the love of God will protect you in all circumstances. It will lift you out of every trial. It'll raise you high above all perceived dangers of this world into a climate of perfect peace and safety. That actually the love of our Creator, the Course says, it will transport you into a state of mind, which I think is a very interesting statement. We will be transported into a state of mind. What kind of state of mind? A state of mind that nothing can threaten, nothing can disturb, and where nothing can intrude upon your eternal calm. So I want to be transported into a state of mind that nothing can disturb. Would you like to be transported into a state of mind that nothing could threaten? Yes. Wouldn't you like to be transported into a state of mind that nothing can disturb? He says, well, the love of my Creator, getting in touch with my relationship to Source, that's the only way to get to a state of mind that nothing can threaten, nothing can disturb, and where I don't let anything mess with my calm. So we're being told how to do that. Then it goes on to say, this is the answer to whatever confronts you today. Does whatever confronts you today mean anything that confronts you today? This is the answer to whatever means anything. Okay, so the answer to anything that confronts me today is to understand that I'm sustained by Source and not by influence, being liked, what's going on in the economy. I love how we're trying to convince ourselves that what's creating our financial challenge is the economy. It's a great way to lose the sense of the power that you have as an unlimited spiritual being that creates your reality. You create your consciousness creates your financial situation. Your consciousness creates your financial situation. Your consciousness creates the relationships that you have. Your consciousness creates every single thing that's happening. Do you know that there are some people in this economy that's experiencing more financial wealth than they could ever imagine in their life? There's some people that they're just freaked out at how great everything is going for them financially. So your consciousness is creating your reality, not Romney and not Obama. Okay, that's a trick. That's a trick to keep us asleep to what's really creating our reality. Then the Course goes on to say, through the love of God within you, you can resolve all seeming difficulties. And in my favorite way, it says you can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. So through the love of that which created me, through the love of the truth, I can resolve all seeming difficulties in an effortless way. So it's possible to have every difficulty that you think you're going through right now be resolved without effort. Without effort? Yes, without effort. Now you see why I said it's hard to believe? Quite startling. Because if you're busy taking care of yourself and you have a consciousness that you think you are on your own and you bought into the programming of the world, what I'm saying sounds entirely crazy. But when I was a kid growing up, my grandmother especially, she was a Bible person. She totally believed in God. She totally believed in spirit. I didn't care what was going on. She felt like her faith in spirit and that Jesus, as she put it, would always be there with her and would take care of her. Now, whether that's true or not, from the perspective of skepticism, she sure had a lot more peace than the people who didn't believe that. Even if that wasn't true, which I believe it is true, but if it wasn't true, it's what do you have to lose by believing in something greater than yourself? If nothing else, it'll give you enough peace of mind so that maybe you can hear the answer that's coming from within yourself. Because it's only when you have peace of mind that you can hear the voice of the truth within yourself, according to the Course. That if you're in conflict all day, you can't hear your guidance. If you're in conflict all day, you can't hear your guidance. So I would like to have my seeming difficulties resolved. I'd like to have them resolved without effort. I'd like to have them resolved in sure confidence. So then it tells us, tell yourself this often today. Does that mean tell yourself this often today? So what does tell yourself something often mean? You tell yourself it lots of times. Often means what? Lots of times. So it means me saying it more than I am half-heartedly saying it. I am sustained by the love of God. It's more like, I'm sustained by the love of God in this situation. I'm sustained by the love of my Creator in this situation. It's what's taking care of me is my Creator. I'm afraid right now about this situation, but what's really taking care of me is love in this situation, my Creator in this situation. I am sustained by the love of God. I try to put a little juice in it so that I can get it in my body. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. Ooh, 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 ooh. I am sustained by the love of God. Ooh, 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 ooh. See, that's going to affect me more than I'm sustained by the love of God. See the difference? Your body stores your memories. You want to make memories in your body. Your body stores all your memories. That's why your body feels the way that it does. How do you know your body stores memories? Because even if you have a scar on my leg that I got when I was around 10 or 11 years old, your cells are replaced 100% in your body every 7 years. You don't even have the same cells you had 7 years ago in your body. But the scar is there. Why? The cells remember. The cells pass on the news to the new one. The old one going out say, hey, I got a scar. Oh, Sam, you'd have this scar too. So the painful memories are stored inside your consciousness, inside your body consciousness, and so are the joyful memories. So as much as I can, I try to put as much enthusiasm in the joyful things in my life as I do in the things that upset me, because people will go, damn, you make me mad. But then they'll say, I'm loved by God. See the difference? One of them we like, full of anger. I'm depressed about what's going on in my job. I deserve love. And then we wonder why in the heck the love doesn't show up. Why would it? Why would the love show up? Why would the joy? There's no enthusiasm. There is no fear. There's no fire. So a lot of times I don't always come in here without fear in my mind or something that I'm concerned about. But I know that the key to receiving is giving, and I need to give what I want to receive. I need to put out there what I want to receive. It's not going to come to me until I give it. I got to stop waiting for it to show up without me giving it. So I'm going to give the enthusiasm that I want to receive. I'm going to give the love I want to receive. I'm going to give the peace I want. And it has nothing to do with you give it back to me or not. You'll give it when you're ready to receive it. I'm freaking ready to receive it, so I'm going to get it. See what I'm saying? I'm going to give y'all a good vibe because I want to feel good. When you decide to feel good, then you'll also do whatever you think is necessary for you. I don't have anything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And which is really kind of relaxes me, because now I'm finally using my control freak nature to be in control of the one person that I have any kind of say-so about, which is me. I used to try to control everybody around me, and then when they wanted to be special enough, they pretend that I could, right? Yeah. And then they take that power away when I don't act right, and then I feel hurt. It was never real in the first place. That power you think you got over another person is a gift that person is giving you, because temporarily you must be doing something the way they want it done, or you're fulfilling some kind of need that they have. But if they really get that you're not going to fulfill that need, or they've had it with something that you're doing, they're going to say, my power that you think you have over me, I want it back now. And then they take it back, and then the next time you go off because you're trying to make them do something because you're so used to you saying stuff, and you get upset, and them responding, they'll look at you like this. Really? We've all done it, right? Yes. Haven't we all given that power and then taking it back when it looked like it wasn't going the way we wanted to go? So don't fool yourself into thinking that you really have some power over somebody. It's a gift that they loaning you for a while. If you act right. If you really act right. You know. So don't fool yourself. The Course says pain always comes from deceiving yourself. Self-deception. So the Course is saying that if you were to tell yourself, through the love of God within me, I can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort. Through the love of God within me, I can resolve all difficulties without effort. Then he says, tell yourself that often. Why? He says, well, because it's a declaration of release from your belief in idols. What's an idol? It's a false idea. So I'm declaring my release from false ideas by saying I am sustained by that which created me. What are the false ideas that I'm being taken care of by? Pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being liked, and knowing the right people. That's the idol. The money is the idol. The pill is the idol. Does that mean when I'm sick, then I shouldn't take a pill? Well, if you believe that the pill will help you, then you need to temporarily believe that the pill will help you, because you already do, which means you're not going to heal yourself without it anyway. So you use the pill as a symbol of your willingness to be healed. So I'm taking this aspirin not because aspirins really heal anything, because if aspirins really healed anything, they would heal everybody. There's some people that get healed, and some people don't. So that's how you know it's a personal choice. Interesting. So the Course is saying to me, well, instead of seeing the pill as what's healing you, see God, your higher self, as what is healing you. See your higher self as what is healing you, but see taking the medicine is symbolic of your willingness to be healed. I am symbolically willing to be healed, so I am going to take this pill right now. I'm symbolically willing to experience my abundance, and so it might come to me in the form of money right now. I'm symbolically willing to experience myself as comfortable, so I'll symbolically wear a coat when it's cold. All these things are symbolic gestures to show that you're willing to have the comfort that you really could have through your consciousness, because there are yogis who can sit out in the snow completely naked and not be cold. So if one person can do it, everybody could do it theoretically. There are some beings who live off of air and they don't eat at all. And so that sounds so way out to us. But Obama being president would be way out to my grandma. She would say that was impossible. No, my mom, I ain't want to go back that far. No, me, 5 years ago. Let's bring it on down, let's come on home with it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but let's get real, you know what I'm saying? So much of what we do every day, it tripped me out my first transcontinental flight, to be sitting in an airplane that was so big it felt like I was sitting in the living room, and I was hearing this faint noise in the background, which was the engine, and I'm watching movies. But the thing that trips me out the most is when I go to the toilet. It's something about peeing at 40,000 feet that kind of does something to your ear. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But what I'm saying is, that big old thing is up in the air, y'all, and we take it completely for granted. The first person that flew didn't make him special. All that did was showed us that it was possible. Now people are flying just like the first person did, and some of them are flying and they don't even like to fly. So not only are people able to do what the first person who flew did, they're doing it even reluctantly, they're flying. Yeah. So if we become more loving, if we become more conscious, if we get in touch with the spirit that we are, if we demonstrate love instead of philosophizing about it, then we are witnessing to everyone around us that it's possible, because if one person can forgive, all of us can forgive. If one person can take responsibility for their experience, all of us can take responsibility for our experience. If one person's creating their reality. So if there's anybody you know that's doing anything you wish you could in attitude, you know you could do it too if you wanted to. If you wanted to. And so the Course says it's all a matter of motivation. So I'm only here today to remind you of how powerful you are. I'm not really here to change you or anything. I need to remember that I'm sustained by the love of God and not by the bills, and not by my credit cards and anything else that I come up with. I want to get to that level. Don't you want to get to a level that you know you're sustained by something greater than your ego? Yes. Absolutely. So then it says it's the acknowledgement of your truth about yourself. So if I want to acknowledge the truth about myself, then I would say I'm sustained by that which created me. I like to say it that way. I'm sustained by that which created me. I'm sustained by the love of God. And the Course says God is love. So I am sustained by the love of love. I'm sustained by love's love of me. I'm sustained by love's love of me. I've been allowing so much love into my life lately that it's bringing up everything in me that's not love. It's like love is like a fist that you have on a toothpaste tube, and the toothpaste tube is full of the fear toothpaste, the anger toothpaste, the insecurity toothpaste, the grievance toothpaste. So then all of a sudden you're surrounded by love and you're surrounded by truth, and it squeezes it out. And so just when you think it's like, so you have a tendency to feel more afraid and think you're going crazy when love is in your life sometimes at first than when love isn't in your life, because everything that's not love in you is being pushed up out of you. It's like meeting a person and saying, I love you. Well, if I say I love you to you, then everything that's not love between us is going to come up to be released and to be healed. So beware. When you tell somebody, I love you, you better get ready for everything that's not love to be released, which kind of blows our romantic notions of what we think love is supposed to be about. And then when it's time to do the real work, we bail. But we don't realize that the love is what's bringing up your irritation and bringing up your insecurities and bringing up your fears in the relationship. It's love that's trying to allow you to be full of nothing but love. So right now, if you know you're surrounded by really cool energies and really cool people and a lot of love, but you still feel crazy as hell, it just means that love is in your life. Love is probably showing up in your life, and it's bringing up all the hidden beliefs that you have that you don't deserve it. And be grateful and feel it, and don't run away from it. Feel it. Don't run away from it. Feel it. Feel it completely. Feel it fully. Then tell yourself, I'm creating this feeling. It's coming from my consciousness. What I'm feeling right now is coming from me. And then you tell yourself, I'm grateful that I have the power to even create this. I'm grateful that I have the power to even create the discomfort. I'm grateful I have the power to create the situation that creates the discomfort. And then you remind yourself, I am sustained by the love of God. I am still as love created me. I am still an infinite being. You do that 4-step process, and you would reclaim your power from everything that makes you afraid right now. It's a simple 4-step process. Feel it, own it, be grateful, claim who you are. Feel it, own it, be grateful, claim who you really are. That's all you got to do. Don't hide it. Don't try to be so positive that you don't admit you feel it to yourself. You mad, say you mad. You upset, tell yourself you're upset. Don't try to pretend you're not upset when you're upset. You feel that upset. Feel it completely. And then tell yourself, I'm creating the upset. I'm the one that's making myself feel this. I'm the one that's giving this all the meaning it has for me. It's me that's make me this upset. It's not the thing that's upset me. It's me upset me about that thing. Declare your freedom. Declare that you are released. Then it goes on to say in the last paragraph, for 10 minutes twice today, that's much too long for ultimate bliss. 10 minutes twice a day. He says, let the idea for today sink deep into your consciousness. What's the idea? I am sustained by the love of God. He said, let that sink deep into your consciousness. Then here's the next instruction. Repeat it. I am sustained by the love of God. Then it says, think about it. I am sustained by the love of God. That related thoughts come to help you recognize it's true. The universe supports me in all ways. Allow peace to flow over you like a blanket. I want you to picture that. Allow peace to flow over you like a blanket of protection. When I was a kid, when I was afraid, the first thing I would do would be what? Pull the blanket over my head. So get the visuals, those of you who are visual learners. The course talks visually for visual learners, and it's really cool for people who are auditory. And then those who need to actually experience it, it says repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, say it, do it. So it's something that we participate in, and so I want to say it to myself too. Allow peace to flow over you like a blanket of protection. Then it says, let no idle and foolish thoughts enter to disturb the holy mind of the Son of God, which is the same as saying, don't let any foolish and idle thoughts enter to disturb the innocent mind of the child of love. The innocent mind of the child of love. The innocent mind of the child of love. Are you innocent? Yes. Are you innocent?
Yes.
Even if you don't think so, is it true? Even if you don't feel it, is it true? Yes. You don't have to necessarily believe something for it to be true. You know that, right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to say this for a minute and just to get it into my body and make a memory. And let yourself feel it. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love. Now I'm gonna put a little funk in it. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. Say what? I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. Take a breath now. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love Curton. I am sustained by the love of God. 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 Made a memory, na 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 na. I made me a memory. It's in my body now. And we're going to finish up the section we've been on since 1983, which is how should you spend your day? If you're going to be a demonstrator of love, if you're going to be a demonstrator of truth, how should you spend your day? And I'm going to be, for those of you who got the book in the teacher's manual, page 42, and I'm starting out with paragraph 9. The course says that the avoidance of magic is the avoidance of temptation. The avoidance of magic is the avoidance of temptation. And then it said that magic is dependent on yourself alone, separate from your source. Magic is something that appears to be happening that's not really happening, is it not? So the course says us thinking we're the ones that's taking care of ourselves through the stuff that we're doing every day is total magic. That we are not being sustained by what we think we're doing. We're really being sustained by the love that created us, the creator that created us. That's what we're being sustained by. So the only temptation then is telling me is, Earl, your only temptation is to forget that. So to avoid temptation is for me to avoid believing I'm taking care of myself. Then it says, for all temptation is nothing more than the attempt to substitute another will for God's. So what is God's will according to the course? According to the course, your Creator's will for you is complete happiness. So don't substitute anything for God's will, which is for you to be completely happy. Don't come up with something, what you mean? Well, I think I'm guilty and I need to be punished. I think I'm insecure and I think I'm not enough. See, that's substituting your will for the will of love. Love says you deserve love. You're saying I don't deserve love. So the course says what you're doing at that point is opposing the will of God. That which loves you wants you to have joy. You don't think you deserve it. You're the one that's being arrogant. You're the one that's thinking the way you think about yourself should have more power than what loves you thinks about you. You know what I'm saying? It's like no matter how much my kid might not love themselves, that's not going to stop me from wanting to love my kid. How my kid feels about himself has nothing to do with me as a parent, how I feel about my kid. So the way you feel about yourself has nothing to do with the way that which created you feels about you. But you have the power to punish yourself if you think you deserve it. So you will punish yourself, but that's so crazy that you have to project it into it looking like something outside of you is punishing you or somebody outside of you is hurting you. But that's really just a reflection of your subconscious desire for suffering because you don't feel like you deserve love. Ba-da! So there are plenty of people who are willing to play that role if you want them to. That'll be the boyfriend that hurt you, the mama that hurt you, the boss that hurt you, the coworker that hurt you. They're all giving you what you think you deserve at some subconscious level, but you don't know about it yet. Hello? All right, if I really believe that, how hard would forgiveness be? If I really believe everybody was treating me the way at some level I was asking myself to be treated, who is there for me to be mad at? Yeah. Who is hurting me if they're carrying out my subconscious wish to be hurt? But it does seem crazy. And so since it seems crazy, I'm going to make it look like you're the one that's doing it. I'm going to blame you for what I'm feeling right now. Because I don't want to own that I'm the one. First of all, I'm the one that's sticking around in the situation that's causing me pain in some of the situations. That, just at a regular level, you can see how you're creating it. You know, if you choose to stay in it. And why would I choose to stay in it as opposed to leaving it? Well, I got to take care. How am I going to be taken care of? Oh, you still think you're taking care of yourself or the person that you're with is taking care of you. That's why you're staying in the situation, because you think that you're sustained by something other than your creator. You think you're sustained by the job, so you stay on the job you hate. You think you're sustained by this person, so you stick with the person that you hate. Oh, that's why you're staying there, because you've forgotten that you're sustained by that which created you and not by some other human being or even yourself. So you'll stay in the painful situation as long as possible. But I got 5 children. That's all the more reason why I need to get in touch with I'm sustained by the love of God. I need to help more than ever, rather than staying in the situation that's ridiculous. But, yes, 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 but. Did I cover everybody? Did I get everybody's yes buts? Yeah. Okay, bottom line, you're afraid. You can give me as many excuses as you want to, Raj. You can give me as many excuses as you want to, but you're just afraid. That's why we stay in situations that cause us pain. Yeah. And think we don't have any choice. And it's okay to admit you're just afraid. You think you're taking care of yourself, you don't know how you're going to be taken care of, and so you stay in situations that make you unhappy because you haven't got in touch with your power yet. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean it's not there. Okay. Just because you've forgotten about something doesn't mean it's not there. I might have forgotten where I left my wallet, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Looking for it. Yeah, but when I find my wallet, then I can, feel sad again. All right, questions, comments? Ahas, yes buts, clarify. Everybody's clear. I'm that good. I'm that freaking good. There's not a question anywhere. Y'all got 100% total
I'm sustained by the love of God. I just wish I believed.
Well, you know why you believe the things that you believe now that's not true? Right. Through repetition. The only reason why you believe what you believe now is through repetition. The only way you're going to believe the truth is through repetition. But not comparing your old beliefs against your new beliefs. Because just like it took some time for you to believe that you are not sustained by the love of God, it's going to take some time to accept that you are sustained by the love of God. But the cool part is it won't take as long because that's the truth. Okay. So since it's the truth, you're going to get the support of the universe. You're going to get all kinds of help. You're going to get synchronicities. You're going to get everything that will support. The minute you want to go for the truth, the universe is on your side. The minute you want to continue the old crap that we've learned, you got to do that on your own. That's why people doing stuff on their own, because they're not going to love it. The universe wants to love you, so if you want to hurt yourself, you got to hurt yourself on your own. You got a project you want to complete, but you don't want to call in the universe, then you got to do that project by yourself, and you'll be complaining every minute of the day about how hard it is to do. But you don't realize what you want to do it by yourself. You believe you by yourself. You're telling yourself to be an adult means you're self-sufficient and you do it on your own. So therefore the universe says, okay. The universe always says yes. I'm not enough. Yes. I can never have a loving relationship. Yes. Nobody likes me. Yes.
That's blind faith, so therefore it doesn't really work, is what I'm...
Right, which always...
I'm not sincere enough if it's blind faith, is my reaction.
Right, and that's why I said at the very beginning that the Course teaches that there's no need for you to believe the ideas, because believing you need to believe the idea before you use the idea is a trick to keep you from using the idea. To believe that you have to already believe what you don't believe in order to believe it is pointless. If it's the truth, it doesn't matter if you believe it. All you have to do is get in alignment with it. Gravity is the truth whether I believe it or not on this plane. It has nothing to do with me getting up in the morning affirming that there's gravity. If it's real, it's there whether your belief is in it or not. Belief is an ego function. Belief is something that the mind does at first because it doesn't believe. It doesn't know. But if I love you, then it's true whether you believe it or not. Now, your lack of belief in it keeps you from enjoying my love. Your lack of belief in it keeps you from appreciating it and having fun with it, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Because the only thing that's missing in any situation, the Course teaches, is what you're not given. When people walk in a room and they say, I don't feel the vibe from anybody, I don't feel any juice, I don't feel any love from anybody in this room, do you know why? Because you're not giving any to anybody in the room. Because if you were given it, you feel it. You always feel what comes through you. You got that? When you say you're not feeling something, it's because you're not giving it. And when you meet somebody and you go, oh my God, they turned me on, you turned yourself on. You know what I'm saying? If rubbing my chest automatically felt good, a monkey could rub it and I'd be going, because I couldn't help it. It would be a natural reaction because I couldn't help it. If someone touched my chest, it has to feel good. But you all know that you all pick and choose who can play with your body parts.
Especially the good ones.
It's right. And so, if it's somebody you don't like, then it's a painful experience for you. If it's somebody you do like, all of a sudden rubbing your neck feels so good. But if you were sitting on the bus and the guy sitting across the aisle and went, I bet you wouldn't go, You'd be like, 911! 911! You know, if you had to send him in jail, what did he do? He touched my neck. But if it was somebody that you wanted to be special, it would be like, how fast can I get my neck to you? You know, we call them booty calls. Okay. Hello? I'm talking to adults. Can I talk to adults like adults?
Please.
Thank you. I don't talk to adults like they're children. Sometimes I freak them out. You know, because I want it to be real, so I can attract people to me that's real. I want to be able to talk the way I talk. I don't want to talk no different because y'all sitting here and have a talk if you weren't sitting here. You know what I mean? That's what I hope you'll do with me. Forget the whole setup that it's some kind of like a structured teacher, church. I got to put on my representative face. I want us to get down. I want you to be like you know, like you are when you feel completely safe. That you don't have fun with people until they feel safe. That's why my number one goal with anybody in my life is that they feel safe. I don't want them to do anything with me that they don't feel safe about or I don't feel safe about. I'm looking for safety. And if you listen to people, they'll let you know what they feel safe about and what they don't feel safe about. If you just ask or just listen or just watch. There are no private thoughts. They're just people who don't pay attention. There's no private thoughts at all. Everybody in this room is either thinking a thought of oneness or a thought of separation. Every person in this room is either thinking a thought that's about something temporary or they're thinking a thought about something that's permanent. They're either thinking a thought that's loving or they're thinking a thought that's fearful. There are no private thoughts. You got your own flavor, but the content is the same. Your fear may take the form of fear of mice, and somebody else's fear may take the fear of crossing the street, but what's the common denominator? Fear. It's some fear coming down. So the Course is telling us that these attempts to substitute another will for God, he says, may indeed seem frightening, but really, you substituting another will for God, the Course says that's merely pathetic. How many spiritual books called is pathetic? How many times I hear pathetic in a spiritual book? Every time I try to make myself unhappy because I don't think I deserve happiness and I feel guilty and afraid, and then I substitute God's will, which is that I have total happiness and joy, with my will, which is I think I'm guilty and not enough, and so I think I'm separate and need to be punished. He says that's pathetic. It's pathetic. You deserve more than that. It's pathetic. Then he goes on to say, guess what? But don't worry about it. If you try to do that, it has no effects. It doesn't have a good effect, doesn't have a bad effect, doesn't have a rewarding effect, it doesn't demand sacrifice, it's not healing, it's not destructive, it's not quieting, it's not fearful. He says when all attempts to place reliance on yourself alone, when all attempts to substitute anything but joy, which is what you deserve, which is magic, the Course says is recognized as merely nothing, then he says the teacher of God, which is the demonstrator of love, the teacher of God means demonstrator of love. He says the demonstrator of love is meant to reach the most advanced state. Now, what does the hell does that mean? That means that when I get to the point that I know that what I am is love, what I am is free, what I am is powerful, and that nothing I think about it can affect that, I'm at the most advanced state of consciousness when I realize nothing that I think about myself has any real effect on myself. The most advanced level of consciousness is when you get to the point you can have what you think of as the most negative thoughts in the world, but you know who you really are is completely unaffected by it. He says that's the advanced state. When you get to the point, you think anything you want to think and you know it can't change the innocent, loving, powerful, juicy being that you are. He says that's the most advanced state of consciousness when you realize it's nothing. Your plan is nothing. Your substitutes that you come up for what you deserve is nothing. Your attacks on yourself are nothing. The guilt that you feel is nothing. The anger that you feel is nothing. Because who you really are cannot be affected like that. It's like being outside all day and you've gotten real dusty, and the dust is the guilt and the fear and your negative beliefs about yourself, and you get in the shower and you wash it right off because who you really are was not affected by the dust. Yeah. It was under the dust. It never changed because you were dusty. But on the outside, it looks like you're dirty. And that's what we do with our thoughts. It's just the dust that's covering the glorious being that we really are, that we think now is us. Take a shower.
Yes.
Take a shower. Let's take a shower together. Right now. An innocent shower. It's a shower of innocence. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Okay, I don't care what any of you think about yourselves. It has not affected you as love created you. I don't care what you think you've done in the past. You're still the same unlimited being that you've always been. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Call your ego mind talk. Start calling your ego mind talk. Say, my mind talk is telling me that I was never loved and never enough and my parents never really appreciated me. My mind talk is saying that I can never attract a relationship that will be satisfying to me. My mind talk is telling me that every time I try something, it fails. Call it your mind talk. And then you just watch your mind talk. But you don't give it any power. You can feel it sometimes, but that's okay. It still hasn't changed who you are. It's the dirt, but it's not you. Wash it away. Wash it away. And sometimes you need to be in relationships that you get washed in. So what's the purpose of a relationship of any kind, not just a romantic relationship? It's a relationship that reminds you that you are the being under the dirt. And that you're not the dirt. When you don't love yourself, you attract people who tell you you are dirty. When you don't love yourself, you attract the people who say you're just the dirt that's on you. When you love yourself, you attract people that say, hey, man, I don't care what you think about yourself. I still think you're cool. You haven't changed who you were as Spirit created you. Those are the kind of people I have in my personal life, but they didn't show up until I started changing my mind. Right? And when I think I don't deserve it, they'll be there to show me that too. So it's not always true because I haven't completely become enlightened yet. So I know there's still some parts of me that don't love me. So therefore I'm not shocked when I have a bad day. That's just a reflection of the residue of the lack of love that I have about myself that I haven't gotten rid of yet. Where it used to be stuff all day, now it's stuff once every 3 months. But when it hits, it still feels as crappy as it did when it was happening all day. So when you feel bad, you do feel bad. But you just don't feel bad as often when you start to love yourself. As a matter of fact, it probably feels a little worse because you know you don't have to suffer anymore. And at first you thought it was normal. Like regular people, they think it's okay to have crappy days. It's kind of okay and you go up and down and stuff don't go your way. They pretty much accepted it is going to be that way. Those of us who are waking up to who we really are, we have the audacity to believe we should have peace every day. So when we go through some kind of a change, it irritates us more than it ever did. So when you begin to love yourself and you begin to wake up, your tolerance for pain decreases. Your tolerance for pain does not increase. So it's not a sign of spiritual development because you suffer better and longer than you used to. You know, so some people, they think spiritual development means you can be in crappy situations longer, and you're okay about that. And the Course says, no, when your spiritual awakening happens, minor intrusions of discomfort bother you more than before because you realize you have an alternative. You don't have to go through that anymore like you used to. So it's a good sign if you find yourself now going, I feel more irritated now than ever before. That means you're beginning to realize you deserve joy more than ever before.
Yeah, no choice.
And, you know, in speaking of blind faith, isn't it blind faith to believe all the stuff that we learn from the world without questioning it? Isn't that blind faith? That we got, when we came here, everybody started describing reality to us and we accepted what they said without questioning it. And then we try to live it. That's blind faith. But when someone says you should see yourself as a loving being, you're a loving being regardless of what you think about yourself, then we go, well, then that blind faith. Notice that we are skeptical of applying the loving stuff. But the fearful stuff, we're not skeptical about at all. We'll accept that in a minute. But somebody says, well, you only deserve love. Well, I don't know if that's true. I'm about to question you on that. What are you trying to get? Is this a cult? You must be trying to get something from me. What would be my advantage of trying to deceive you? What would be my advantage of trying to get anything out of anybody in this room? What is it that you all have that I should be trying to manipulate? People say money. That'd be the first thing to come to mind because that's the best thing to use to keep from listening or giving. But that's okay because anybody that's sent to me by Holy Spirit, that's really sent to me by Holy Spirit who recognize me, then they know that's not the case. So I don't even worry about whether other people trust me or whether I'm trustworthy. That's not even important to me anymore. I don't spend 5 minutes thinking, well, let me see if I can get these people to come to this class to trust me. People make their decisions about you within 5 minutes when they walk in the door. And then they use everything you say after that to prove their premise. The guy walks in and says he doesn't like me, this guy's a sham, he's going to use everything I say to prove to him that I'm a sham. The person that walks in with an open mind and says, hey, I kind of get the vibe, this is a cool person, they're going to use everything I say to reinforce that idea. People make their decision about you in 5 minutes. Ain't that right, ladies? Then you play the game like you're being seduced. I know that. Would you mind signing the mailing list if you don't mind? So I can let you know that I got a bunch of stuff I'm getting ready to do this fall. I want to be able to let you know about it. Okay, is that true pretty much? To be honest, I mean, I got 4 sisters. I know it's true. Okay, I know it's true. They schooled me on a lot of stuff. It's a game.
Yeah.
It's all a big friggin' game.
Yeah.
We are playing the human game. We are playing the biggest game of all. We're unlimited consciousness spiritual beings playing the game that we're little separate human beings in bodies out here trying to make it. And then we set the game up at first where it looks like we don't have any power by creating these limited circumstances, which is just setting up the game. And then the second part is coming back into the realization of your unlimited power. And that's the fun part of the game. Some people are still setting up the first part of the game, which is making it look like nothing goes right for them and they have no power. That's like setting up the bowling pins before you throw the bowling ball. Then some people already got the pin set up, and now they're throwing the bowling ball that destroys all that lack and fear and unhappiness. So you're playing the game. Some of y'all setting it up, some of you all are destroying the old stuff and you're letting the new stuff come in. So be gentle with yourself. Some of your friends are setting up the game. And that means that no matter what they try to do, it's not going to work out. That's how you set the game up. No matter what they try to do, it never turns out. No matter what I do, it doesn't make me happy. That's setting the game up. That's setting the human game up so that we can turn around and go, oh, now I'm going to come back into the realization of my unlimited power. Now I'm going to let go of the blocks and I'm going to get in touch with my power to manifest anything I want. And some of us are in that part of the game, and we seem crazy to the people who are still setting the pins of pain up. So you don't even bother with trying to convince them. That's a waste of time because they're busy setting the pins up. They're not going to listen to what you're saying because right now they're trying to convince themselves they're limited so that they can come into the realization that they're unlimited. It's a game, y'all. It's a game. But we're getting ready to play the game happy children play. When you come back into the realization of how loved you are, when you come back into the realization of how abundant you are, when you come back into the realization of how much you deserve joy and creativity and love. That's the game that you're coming back into now. How do you know that? Because you're sitting here hearing about it. You don't even hear about it till you're ready to do it differently. I don't even exist to 99% of the people around. There are many people that forgot they ever came here. It's like they never did. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So I'm here to tell you that all magic is recognized as merely nothing. So that's your advanced state. Then he says all intermediate lessons will but lead to you recognizing that no matter what you think about yourself, you still don't affect who you really are. And bring this goal of you knowing that you're unaffected by whatever you think you've done to recognition. For magic of any kind in all its forms simply does nothing is another way of saying depending on yourself, separate from God in all its forms simply does nothing. So it's nothing to feel guilty about. If you still believe you're on your own and you're still trying to do it on your own, don't feel guilty about that because you're not doing nothing. Then it goes on to say, its powerlessness is the reason it can be so easily escaped. What has no effects can hardly terrify. There is no substitute for the will of God. There is no substitute for the will of God. In simple statement, it's to this fact that a teacher of God devotes their day. So, each substitute you may accept as real deceives you. Every time you think you're taking care of yourself on your own, he says it's deceiving you. He says, perhaps, he says, but you are safe from all deception if you so decide. That's true. If we've been told that we're really sustained by the love of God and by our relationship with Source, which means the only thing we should be doing is working on releasing every block that keeps us from recognizing that, then that means you know the truth now. So if you choose to leave and still believe you're on your own, then that's just you still choosing to be deceived. So you're saved from all deception if you decide. If I decide, hey, I really am sustained by the universe, I'm no longer deceiving myself. If I leave out of here today and go steal, it's up to me all by myself, then I'm deciding to still deceive myself. So I'm free from deception when I decide I'm free from deception. I can do that today. I can say, this is true. What I tell myself to the contrary isn't true. I can do that today. Because if it's true, it's true. Whether I believe it or not. Tell yourself that. If it's true, whether I believe it or not. If it's true, whether I believe it or not. So my belief doesn't make things true. But my belief does determine what I perceive. My belief doesn't necessarily reflect the truth, but my beliefs will always be reflected back to me in my physical world. So you can't go, well, Earl, what you're saying isn't true because I haven't seen that. Well, you haven't seen it because you don't believe it's true. All men are no good, going to bring you all no good men. All the good men, quote unquote, you wouldn't even see them. You wouldn't even notice them. You wouldn't even be interested in them. You wouldn't even be attracted to them. And those who are going, hey, only loving relationships are true, then they're not attracted to the ones that will cause them pain, who are cruel and who don't listen. You go out with somebody, all they do is talk about themselves all evening, and you know you're with a self-absorbed person, and that's where they're going to be with you. You go out with somebody and they're asking you questions about yourself. This is a person that's genuinely interested. They might be an interesting person to hang out with. It's just little simple things like that when you begin to wake up that you start noticing when you have interactions with people. Any questions, any comments about anything I've said? Yeah.
I have a fear of water, and I can swim good, but I will find myself hanging on to the edge of the pool. And I took classes, special classes for people white knuckle on the edge of the pool.
Me too.
But I sit here and I feel, I come here and just coming in here sometimes, I just feel a lot of love. I get close to you and I feel a lot of love. And I can't let go of the edge of the pool.
Guess what? You will inevitably let go of the edge of the pool, because as you continue to remember the truth more and more, then you're going to drop more and more of your fears. So I would suggest just continue to give yourself the truth, and you're going to let go of that fear. You know, it's not even something that you have to even worry about, because one day you're going to realize you're a spirit, you're going to realize you're eternal, you're going to realize you can't be threatened, you're going to realize you're not alone, you're going to realize you're loved. And once you make that realization, you're not going to have any fear of water, because that's a symbol of your fear of death. When we go beyond our fear of death, you won't be afraid of water. So don't even make that the focus of even worrying about it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on giving yourself the truth.
The love that I'm afraid of right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And thank you. I'll give you a hug and I'll run my ass out here.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of people do. A lot of people run their ass out there before the hood. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. What's important is for the person to feel free to do whatever they feel like they need to do at the moment and know that they're accepted just that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody was telling me one, you know, like sometimes, and I've had it happen more than once, where a person will say to me about, you know, participating is a challenge. And I say, well, I keep saying you don't have to participate. You know, I just want you to do what you want to do. But that's us. You know, we do that to ourselves. We make ourselves feel pressured even when nobody's pressuring us. We'll tell ourselves things that'll make us feel pressure when the person hasn't made any kind of demand on us. It'll be the demand we make on ourselves because we're afraid to extend. Try not to be trapped by your personality. Many people are trapped in their personality. They're trapped in it. It's like a prison cell. I can never dance. That's my personality doesn't dance. My personality doesn't affirm. My personality doesn't express its feelings. I am a quiet person. That's being trapped in your personality. You're just choosing to be a quiet person. You know why I know that's not true? Because there are people you're not quiet around. And if you can be loud around one person, then you can be loud around anybody. And if you can be quiet around one person, you can be quiet around anybody. So that doesn't hold water to say you're a quiet person unless you're mute in every situation. And if you're not mute in every situation, it's a bunch of crap. You're just choosing to be quiet in here and somewhere else. And why am I choosing to be quiet? Why am I communicating to this person but I'm quiet in here? This person I feel safe with, I don't feel safe with you yet. I don't feel like we've connected enough yet for you to feel safe enough for you to say what you want to say to me. We're all exactly alike. We just do the same things at different times. And then we tell ourselves we're different. The only thing that's different is time. All separation is nothing but time. That's it. The Course says it's just time. That's it. I'm feeling bad today, you feel good today, so you say you're different from me. Tomorrow you feeling bad and I'm feeling good. You see what I'm saying? It's the only thing that was different was today and tomorrow. But we both felt the same thing at different times. So we're all the same. We just do it at different times. And then the Course says, your uniqueness is the special way you bring love into the world in a way that it can't come in any other way except through you. But if you're trying to be like everybody else, then you blow your opportunity to bring your love in the way it can only come through you. And when you let it come through you, the way it comes through you, you'll freak out how your world will respond to you in so much joy and support and love. The world responds to you showing up doing what you really are supposed to do, which is to be who you are and not who people told you you were supposed to be. Miserable people are living someone else's script. You know, the fashion designer that tells you unless you're wearing white in the fall, you're missing it, that's the benefit to the designer. That's smart to make up a rule that benefits you, that if everybody do it, it makes things better for you. You're crazy if you believe it. You're crazy if you believe unless you wear white, you're not okay. That's made up. So the person who don't have the money to buy white clothes, they're miserable. They're miserable because they're not being themselves. Because if they're being themselves, they wouldn't give a hoot. They wear what they wanted to. So when you're not being yourself, it's when you're sad and you're depressed and you don't have no energy. It just means be yourself. Be yourself. You're not being yourself yet. Because when you are yourself, people get energized just by being in your presence. They don't ever know what you're going to do next because you have become an exciting person. You're no longer dependent on your own ego. Yeah, bro.
I just wanted to throw in here one of the things, when I first started studying with you, I used to observe my life with a lot of judgment, and then I'd go and make change based upon that judgment, and that was hard and painful. But the one thing that's really changed is as I've released the judgment, I still observe my life, but with no judgment, like, oh, there I am doing that. And all of a sudden, change is just flowing in instead of me trying to force myself into it. It's like I woke up to where, oh, that's silly. And sometimes I just let myself do it anyway. But, you know, next time when I'm up against that situation, I see it totally different. But it's really been an observing without judgment that has just made things start to flow faster, much faster and easier. I think the only choice I get is easy or hard. You're going this direction, son.
Well, see, the thing of it is, that's a great point. All of us are going to learn the same lesson, which is that we're sustained by our Creator, not ourselves. That love is the only thing that's real. Some people are going to learn the lesson in a way that's joyful because they're going to listen to instruction. And then some people are going to get the same lesson through pain because they want to do something other than that. But it's okay. We're still going to all end up in the same place. The realization that only love is real. I just would like to have an easy trip. I just want to have a loving trip now. But I don't doubt everybody's going to make it. Everybody's going to make it. Everybody is going to make it. Everybody is going to make it. And even the people you hate, even the people you think don't deserve it at all, they're still going to be corrected at some level. They're still going to be healed. That's what love would do. Thank goodness love doesn't do it the way we do it. We pick and choose who deserves to be healed. Love doesn't pick and choose who deserves to be healed. All love knows is you're in pain, you need to be out of it. I don't care what you did to be in the pain. I would only need to care what you did to be in the pain if I was going to judge what you did. But if I want to heal you no matter what, I'm not going to ask you how did you cut yourself. If I'm the medic, at first I'm going to what? Put the bandage on you first, and then we'll talk about how you cut yourself. So somebody that loves you, they're going to the love and the healing first. They're not all about what did you do to deserve to be healed right now. That's what fearful people do. And we need to admit, we have more fear than we have love, and we're learning how to move toward love. And it's not sinful or guilty to be fearful. It makes sense here that you have some, actually. So we're just people who've had enough. We want to go beyond that. We're tired of depending on our ego, and we're ready to get in touch with that which created us. God's will for you is perfect happiness. It will happen when you agree. Did you acknowledge yourself? Be powerful, juicy, glorious, incredible, off the chain, stupendous, luscious, awesome being. Okay, so I'm going to do the financial expression of appreciation. I appreciate you sharing with me in my full-time ministry with the Course in Miracles. Thank you out there in the internet world for all of your generosity and also the support and the great comments I've been getting from people who are being helped with what I'm doing. I do clarity sessions. They're one-on-one sessions where I take whatever you're going through and apply my knowledge of the Course in Miracles, and if you're open to it, my knowledge of astrology and numerology, also to give a more psychic, intuitive insight into what's going on. If you're open to that, I am available. You can go to my website and it explains what I do in detail. And I do phone sessions and stuff like that too. You don't even have to have nerve enough to just be in my face if you don't want to. It's okay. Help is available. 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 All right? Is that cool? And I put all my classes on the internet. So you can just Google my name. And if you Google my name, you will get my YouTube site will come up and my website will come up, and I have over 700 videos online. So I'm going to say something for you. God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I say God's will for me is perfect happiness. 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 Stop depending on yourself and start depending on God. I say stop depending on yourself and give it to your greater, higher self. I say stop depending on yourself and give it to your greater, higher.
Sometimes I get a feeling, yeah. Feel a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a feeling.
I want somebody to get loud with me when I come back. Woo! Somebody don't mind getting loud. Woo! Anybody want to be quiet? Be quiet. Think about something you'd like to manifest in your life right now. Something you'd like to see more of happen in your life right now. I don't care what it is. It can be anything. It can be anywhere. You deserve happiness. God's will for me is perfect 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 happiness. Get funky with it. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Yes, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Well, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Yeah, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Give it to you. Holy Spirit. Go ahead. Whoa. There. Hugs are available. You're getting ready to go out into the lab. And we'd like to say to you all, may the Course be with you. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming, bro.